Hi, it's Andy.
Hi, it's Dave.
Hi, it's Kirk.
Welcome to the A.D.K Rock and Metal channel. Okay, today we are checking out a band called Solnegre. Anyone heard of it? Kirk, Andy?
Does that translate as Black Sun from Spanish to English?
Quite possibly, because they are
Solnegre.
Spanish. They are a Spanish doom death metal band.
Andy's going to love this then.
They've got a new album coming out called The Spiral Labyrinth. It's coming out on October the 10th by Muse Music Records and Tragedy Productions. A brief description about the album is The Spiral Labyrinth is a conceptual journey through the different scenarios with the common denominator on the pain, the anguish, the hypersensitivity, and the struggle with a highly functioning depression, which is absolutely based on a real condition. Their music can be approximated as doom death metal with a strong old school vibe, with bands like My Dying Bride and early Anathema and early Opeth might come to mind. In general, massive crushing riffs, slow but funeral vibe, multi-layered keys, heavily distorted bass, and crushing growls are the band's signature. Yay! Sorry.
Does it live up to the press release? That's what we are about to find out.
Andy's face is like, yes!
Yeah, this will be uplifting, won't it? No,
I'm just like, oh, my favourite genre, funeral doom.
We get comfortable. Is it going to be 10 minutes or so? Should we get comfortable?
It's 11 minutes long. This is Vessel Part 1 and The Night Within. Now, for anyone expecting us to sit there and stop, pause, talk and debate, ain't happening. We are going to respect the song. We're going to watch it from start to finish. We're going to listen to it. We'll break it down at the end, and we will give it a truly honest opinion. So let's go check out the song by Solnegre. Okay, there we go. So Solnegre and Vessel Part 1, The Night Within. As always, we go alphabetically from the A to the D to the K. Let's kick it off with Andy's. Oh no, we're going to burst into rapper at the moment. Andy, kick it off. Give us your thoughts on this.
Well, as you said at the beginning, yeah, I was smiling at that because this is my sort of stuff. That was really, really good. There's some obvious influences there. It starts with like a simple riff, which is then carried by the keyboards. The bio kind of described the band very, very well, and the sound they produce. It was a very good description of this particular band. And I think you need either the keyboards or the guitar melody to carry the song, because if it was just them hanging open, ringing chords, it would get very dull, very boring. So you need that, much like Paradise Lost employ. There's the rhythm behind with the sort of single note melody sort of carrying the song, which certainly helps. The vocals started and continued throughout in an agonized fashion. They're harsh, they're deep growling, but you can actually, if you concentrate, pick out the lyrics, which is good. That's what some people like. I certainly do, because it makes you pick up the lyrical content, the story they're trying to convey. The video is just something to accompany the song. You're not going to be engrossed in that, are you? It's just something to sort of, as we were probably, just glance up occasionally. But there's some really good images in there. I do recognise that album cover from somewhere. I might have seen it on social media. Perhaps it's been promoted out and about. But the shots of the clouds and the moon, the lake, I thought was really, really good. At the sort of 5.5 minute mark, I don't know if you saw me, I put my spectacles on just to look at the time along the bottom. That's typical Doom Death, because the pace picked up, and that's something that sort of elites have picked up on. Sort of not Paradise, My Dying Bride not being sort of a true Doom band, they're Doom Death, because they have those faster passages, much like this band did. But yeah, that was really good. You won't be surprised to learn I didn't particularly like the sort of freeform guitar solo piece, sort of 3/4 of the way through. I wouldn't say it spoiled it, but I think you could have perhaps, as this is like a lead song from an album and for a promotional purpose, you could perhaps done like a video edit, because it was 11.5 minutes or whatever, and that was quite overwhelming when you said this is what we're going to open our session with tonight. Even for a Doom fan to do a reaction, it's quite tough. Listening on your own at your leisure in comfort of your own home. That was a great song, and this is a band I really want to check out. But yeah, really, really enjoyed that. As a promotional piece, they could have done things slightly differently. I did like the sort of simplicity of the video. I think that's all you need. But it's just something you're going to glance up to and you're going to accompany the music as you try and invest yourself into it. But yeah, really good. Enjoyed that a lot.
Okay.
I don't know if it was exactly the same riff, but the intro and the outro was certainly the same guitar tone. That's an interesting element that they've introduced. The intro and the outro of the song, very similar, if not the same sort of passage of music. But yeah, overall, really, really enjoyed that.
Cool. So to me, I'm gonna get my negatives, things that I wasn't a fan of this. So the video, didn't see the point. If you're gonna do what you did there, just put bloody album cover on the screen then, because the story elements or the visual elements didn't really do anything for me. They seemed interconnected. They looked like they were trying to connect them, but they didn't feel connected. And lady in a lake doing a bit of thing, and then there's some clouds going over a mountain, and there's a rate that I'm like, I could take it or leave it. So yeah, that's it, and that's it. That's my only negative out of that. Really like the track, surprisingly for me. Really got into it. I picked out the Paradise Lost, like the lead guitar melody type vibe. That's what I would have kind of called the Paradise Lost guitar vibe. Just very simplistic, just kind of naturally tip-taps back and forth melody. Loved the vocals. I thought the vocals were great. Really reminded me of the local band Denali. Really got that kind of vibe from this track. When it got into that kind of, there was an element on one of the riffs that reminded me of almost like a new metal riff, kind of creeping its way in there at one point. Like little squeals going on. I'm like, hang on, that's a bit different from a doomy band. Okay, I quite like this. There's some different elements here, and then they got to this kind of free form midsection, and I started thinking Dire Straits at this point. I was like, okay, this is we're getting prog rock now, and then it went prog metal. And then it went in when it kicked back in, and he just went and lost his mind on the guitar and started just doing guitar wanking. That to me, I was like, yeah. I was like, nah, you lost me there. Sorry. At that point, all of the guitar leads had shown creativity, thought process. There was emotional connection to the little lead melodies that he was playing. And then when he starts getting, I was just like, you're going speed, you're going fast. Now, there was probably a part of that there's a story that he's trying to get across about why the guitar has changed the way it did through that section. But I was just waiting for it to end. I was like, please don't carry on this any longer. I want you to finish because that's annoying the shit out of me right now. And luckily it finished and it got back in, the vocals kicked in, and I was a lot happier. But that was the only real bit of that musical part, was just when he started going on the guitar. I was like, that's just annoying. Just please, I don't understand why you went down that route. But apart from that, really loved it. Kirk?
Whenever I hear Death Doom, by the way, Andy, I call it. Is it Doom Death? Is it Death Doom? We could even have
Death Doom, I think,
a debate about that. I call it Death Doom. So I listen to this music so much because I review 7 albums a week, and often there is a Death Doom album in there.
Who do you review it for?
Oh, have you heard of it? Scream Blast Repeat. And it's only probably the last 3 years where I've really got into Death Doom. So I'm familiar with music like this. So it really needs to be doing something different to retain my attention. Instead, what I found when I was listening to that, I was thinking, what is the difference between Death Doom and post-metal? They both play at the same tempo. There's a lot of pain in there. They don't really accentuate the virtuoso moments of the music. I would say out of the two, I prefer post-metal, and here are the reasons why, and then I can bring this back to Solnegre. Post-metal rhythmically is more interesting, dancing on the tom drums. It's almost like an industrial element to it. They try to be more enchanting or mystifying, because of the rhythms. Whereas with that, you're not going to get anything interesting in there really, unless the drummer decides he's going to accelerate and use the double kick pedal, for a sudden modulation, which happens a lot when you listen to My Dying Bride. They're famous for that. The other thing is, the vocals are excellent in this. I like that grisly death metal voice. Post metal is completely opposite. That comes from hardcore and punk, doesn't it? And they are just screaming. And the integrity to that music is that you've not done any singing lessons. If you lose your voice, you get respect. And it's all about the pain that you physically suffer. That's more of an art form, what they're doing in this music. That Anathema album, 1995 album, The Silent Enigma, is very good for that. And obviously My Dying Bride. And even that Death Doom band from Blackpool, Enchantment, are kings of this type of music. The guitar solo, loved it. Loved every note in there. I love the transition from David Gilmour to Yngwie Malmsteen. To me, that kept me interested. It was very emotional. And even the part when he was doing that fast tremolo picking on the 23rd fret.
Yeah.
On the high E string, even that served a purpose. Because did you hear those scale runs that he was then doing? I love that. The blues part was really emotive. It was progressive blues. David Gilmour was clearly the influence there. And it was good how, as Andy recognized, the end the song with the same riff that he started it with. So I thought that was quite good how it transitioned back into that. 11 minutes, was that too long? Probably not, because I enjoyed the solo. The guitars, that melody was a bit too simplistic for me. Again, post-metal will be a bit more dissonant and unorthodox in trying to find melody. I know that that's a contrast. You can't have dissonance and melody, but they will look for atonal shapes and then find the notes where you might find a bit of melody. That they're just harmonizing. I don't hear Paradise Lost there. I just hear Andy Quain of My Dying Bride for adding that sorrowful texture to the music. Final comment. I do love to hear like growling bass guitar in the mix, and that was very prominent there. And I often think in this band it'd be very enjoyable being the bass player, just doing those upstrokes, with your index finger, bass distortion on, great feeling. So I enjoyed it, but I've realized that I think I prefer post-metal to death doom, even though they're playing at the same tempo. They're not really doing any extravagant riffs. There are some differences that probably aren't as subtle as we think.
Okay. Well, there you go. That is our review of Solnegre and Vessel Part 1, The Night Within. Now, if you like this video, please do like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you on another video sometime very soon. Take care.